The makeup of the national executive provides an insightful look into the dynamics of the nation's governance within the intricate fabric of South Africa's political environment. Before we continue, please kindly hit on the subscribe button. The 32 ministries that make up the national executive represent a wide range of political parties, each of which brings distinct viewpoints and goals to the fore on the national scene. The dominant force is the African National Congress, ANC. Within the national executive branch, the African National Congress, ANC, which has ruled South Africa since apartheid ended in 1994, continues to have a stronghold. The ANC continues to have a major impact on the direction of national policy, controlling 20 of the 32 ministries. This dominance highlights the party's continued popularity with voters in spite of the obstacles encountered over the years. Under the ANC's direction, important portfolios that are essential to South Africa's socioeconomic growth include finance, health, and education. The Democratic Alliance, DA, is firmly opposed. 6 ministries are held by the main opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, DA. This distribution emphasizes the DA's position as a potent check on the ANC's power. The Democratic Alliance's dedication to economic reform and transparent government is shown by its oversight of significant portfolios including public enterprises and trade and industry. A significant portion of the electorate, especially in metropolitan areas, connects with the party's focus on market-friendly policies and effective public service delivery. Leader of the Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, in the region. 2 ministries are under the jurisdiction of the Inkatha Freedom Party, IFP, which has its base in KwaZulu-Natal. The IFP's ongoing significance in South African politics, especially among its regional base, is shown by its participation in the national executive. The IFP's concentration on traditional leadership and rural development, 2 topics that are very important to its core supporters, is reflected in the ministries that fall under its control. The national executive is made more diverse by the holding of one ministry by a number of minor parties. Among them are Good. This party's emphasis on social justice and urban development is reflected in its membership in the executive. Freedom Front Plus, FF Plus. The FF Plus offers a distinct viewpoint on minority rights and agricultural issues, since they represent Afrikaner interests. Pan-Africanist Congress, PAC. The PAC's participation draws attention to current discussions over land ownership and restitution, with an emphasis on land reform and African nationalism. Pan-Africanist Congress, PAC. The organization's presence draws attention to the continuous discussions around land ownership and restitution, with an emphasis on land reform and African nationalism. Patriotic Alliance, PA. The PA is well known for its views on local government and crime, and its participation in the executive highlights its dedication to grassroots concerns. The national executive's diversified makeup serves as an example of how South Africa's democracy is complex, with many voices participating in the process of governing. Regardless of size, every party contributes significantly to determining the future of the nation by making sure that a variety of viewpoints are taken into account when formulating policies. Once more, the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, have released a harsh assessment of the present cabinet makeup, alleging that the government has inflated its ranks in order to protect members who have racist views. The public's concern about the scope and effectiveness of South Africa's executive branch is intensifying, and this has prompted the party to respond. Speaking for the EFF, Vuyani Pambo criticized what he saw as a purposeful move to appease governing party friends rather than emphasizing achievement and public service. According to Pambo, the cabinet has evolved into a haven for those whose loyalty is to the maintenance of privilege and unequal structures rather than the people of South Africa. The EFF's position highlights larger opposition concerns about accountability and transparency in government. The party cited cases in which the cabinet's responsibility to serve all people equally has been eclipsed by claims of racial prejudice and political cronyism. Opponents contend that a big cabinet reduces the effectiveness of decision-making and puts a burden on state resources. The EFF claims that this approach perpetuates a culture of patronage at the highest levels of authority and undercuts the fundamentals of good governance. Pambo underlined the need of a more efficient, streamlined cabinet that puts the interests of common South Africans ahead of political considerations. He said that the emphasis should be on selecting leaders who are dedicated to eradicating the effects of apartheid and promoting